Thank you, MC. We're going into the third session. Welcome back. I see that the room is having lesser people. Human form is limited at the moment. So I'd like to encourage all of you to come to the front, please, so that we don't have so many empty seats. And we want it to act as, to give us the spirit of encouraging the speakers as well, so you can see people up front. Move up front, please. Thank you. Did you all enjoy your lunch? Yes? Yeah, so you're all fueled up. Your petrol tank is full. So I would expect a very interactive session from the floor. Yeah, so have your questions ready. I know the MC did introduce session, but it's not just going to be about UCSI program, but about what people are doing here on the ground. Right, this morning we looked at how do we implement the objectives of Rukun Negara, and then we moved into Harmoni-Mesra, looking into unity and empathy, fostering unity and empathy. Now we are here looking at the future perspectives and action plans, and that's the most important part here. How do we actually get all the ideals, the principles, the much talked about Rukun Negara and the action plans that people have been talking about, but what is really happening on the ground level at ground zero? What are organizations doing? And today we have with us 4 panel members who are going to share with us their life experience of how they have been doing activities on the ground level to encourage unity, to bring about prosperous Malaysia, a harmonious, prosperous, prosperous, and sustainable Malaysia towards the direction of having a united and Sejahtera Malaysia. So without further ado, let me just introduce our panel members. The first on my far right is Professor Dr. Engineer, Technologist Dr. Siti Hamisa bin Tasbir, and she's the Vice Chancellor of UCSI University, who is also currently on the board of Kumpulan Kitakom Berhad, Opstar Berhad, Malaysian Seaman, and Saim Dabi Berhad. She has had an illustrious academic career in UTM, and she continues to have an illustrious academic career here in UCSI, and was also appointed Deputy DG and DG of the Ministry of Education before she left her appointment there to join and become the Secretary General of MOSTI for the term of 2019 and 2021. She carries with her extensive experience of not just in academia, but in management. And we are happy to have her here on our panel. And to my immediate right is Miss Fei Lim, the founder of Rojak Project. Right. Fei has embarked on a transformative journey, founding the Rojak Project, a social enterprise dedicated to inspiring and driving social change through creativity. Fei's goal is to attain global recognition in pioneering art entrepreneurship and social art as a social artist who has forged profound connections and made a positive impact by showcasing the beauty of Malaysia, the people, the food, the culture through art. And she expects to have this achieved by 2027. We're looking forward to that, Fei. And next, to my left, we have the less controversial Syed Sadiki. Sorry, Syed Sadiki. Minus the I and minus the D, right? Entrepreneur involved in several sectors of economy. He co-founded Project 57, a social enterprise that focuses on all issues surrounding unity in our country. He's passionate about Malaysia and leveling the playing ground for the marginalized community. He is director of partnership and sokong.org, which is a crowdfunding platform that supports charities, NGOs, and social enterprise. He was also awarded the SEBA Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2020. Welcome. And next, on my far left, we have Prof. Kenneth Kwa, right? Prof. Kenneth Kwa is the founder and president of Phoenix Asia Academy of Technology. He has over 24 years of experience in higher education industry in international education development, teaching, recruitment, training, and managing students. He has also invested into time and resources into developing the metaverse technology for education, and his company has been acknowledged as the first metaverse university campus in Malaysia by PICOM. So thank you for being here with us this afternoon. So we're going to make this session interactive. I know each panel member has been given 10 minutes. 10 minutes because we've got lesser speakers here. So I want this session to be interactive. So while someone is sharing, if any member of the panel feels that they could contribute towards what has been spoken or shared by one of the panel members, you may share your input, but with limit. Yeah, with limit, so that the panel member gets to also share her views in the time given to her. So make it interactive because this is after lunchtime, people are sleepy and we want to keep the audience awake. So Faye and Syed have promised me that they're going to put a show on, and so let's get the show going with Dato giving her first presentation, all right? Welcome, Dato.
Thank you, Prof. Kalai. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, salam Harmoni-Mesra. I must thank the organizer for inviting me today. Welcome to UCSI. This is one of our 5 campuses. This is our main campus, then we have the Spring Hill campus, we have in Kuching, we have one in Terengganu, and the youngest one is the one in Bangladesh. So when it comes to Harmoni-Mesra campus program, we started in October 2022. It was launched by Yang Mulia, our Pro-Chancellor, and we launched it together with our partners, that is Dialog, Rakyat, and PICO. And this is taking into consideration the actionable practice of the principles of Harmoni-Mesra. However, if I can just look back in 2019, there was Tan Sri Omar Harmony Award in UCSI as well. So we have this history of harmony elements in UCSI University. As for the university's general studies, all are embedded. This is according to what is in our policy from the Ministry of Higher Education. If you look at our Higher Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025, there's one aspiration, that is system aspiration, including accessibility, quality education, and unity. Unity is one of them. It is all embedded in our programs. And UCSI has been doing this since 2022. In fact, it was embedded before according to what is the requirement of MQA. Now, the question is when we embed in the system, the students come in and sit for the exam. How do we know that they really internalize unity? Yes, they pass the exam. So this is the role of the lecturers to come up with courses that are challenging for the students to be involved in programs. Some of the programs that are being conducted by some of our lecturers are the intercultural. During the festive season, we have all the Open Raya House, the Difabali, the Chinese New Year and all that. But that is at the level where we celebrate all these festive together. And we also get our students to work together during the floods. If you remember, there's at one point after the pandemic, and regardless of whose house that was affected, our students went around Kajang and Cheras to help those individuals. So in that sense, we have it there. And if we look at Prof. Asma's presentation today, it was intercultural, intracultural, and the third one was cross-cultural. I believe we in UCSI, probably we have gone through the second one, but not the third one. We haven't gone to that level, and this is where we think that the way forward for us to go into the cross-cultural. Our students here consist of about 50 to 60% local students, the rest are international students, and we got this new sort of program where it's called buddy system, but it is for our local with our international students, where they will help each other. The cross-cultural that was mentioned by Datuk Prof. Asma, I think it was conducted by some of the universities where they force students to live together. During my time and some of your time, we live in the same room together. And sometimes you have your friends who will say, you solat dulu lah sebelum kita keluar. Nanti you know, your non-Muslim friends that will remind you. I think many universities have not come to this. In fact, the university I came from, they came up with an incentive for those who want to live together with another race. They give a slight reduction in the rental of their dorms to that extent. But I think when we look at theory of change, one, we go through the legislative, meaning to say you force people. There's another one where you say, okay, you do it. And there's another one that is through our guidance, we can help them. I think this is where Harmoni-Mesra campus program is supposed to be. We guide our young ones to come up with all these programs. Harmoni-Mesra campus program comprises of two components. One is the acceptance and principles and practices. This is what we have done in UCSI. The implementation will involve the operational framework, integration of the principles and practices into function of the university, governance, administration, teaching and research, community and industry outreach, including advocacy and advice, national and international collaboration, and students' extra curriculum activities. We are grateful to Tan Sri Omar, who keeps on pushing us to work on this Harmoni-Mesra. Otherwise, we would have been just on the surface, past the mata pelajaran umum, and then move forward. And the challenges that I face here is getting the lecturers to buy in. They are saying, oh, we already included in our mata pelajaran umum, we have included in the ethnicity. But I think we have to go beyond. In fact, when I was at the ministry, we came up with unity index. But it is not easy to come up with this unity index. How do you measure the level of unity among the programs, honors, among the students and all that? This is something that remains sort of work in progress. The second challenge is how can we make it lasting? It is not only at the university you pass the exam. How can we make it as a culture? Meaning to say, we don't jump when there's sock saga. The moment there's, you know, it has to be robust enough that when there's any sock saga, we say, yeah, we know, we have to listen to both sides and not just jump. That is, I think, is the challenge for us. For the students that are here with UCSI, they are supposed to be involved in some of these students' activities, extracurricular, and this is among of the things that we emphasize. We also have our college, and Dr. Mabel here is the CEO of our college, and she is very passionate about Harmoni-Mesra, and she gets her students and lecturers to be involved. We are really a true representative of One Malaysia. We have people from different walk of life, not only gender. Even in the SDG 17, it says gender, different, diverse background. And I believe for us to make it work, we need to have a younger generation to be involved. Yeah. Currently, I think we saw YB Alvin or Kevin which is good to hear him coming up with different perspective because it's quite refreshing. We are also a praxis university, and embedding Harmoni-Mesra in praxis university as UCSI is really important, meaning to say we don't just talk, we do the work as well. With that, thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Prof. Dato, for your sharing on Harmoni-Mesra, UCSI campus. Thank you that for your sharing where you said that Harmoni-Mesra is being embedded into your programs. You're looking at the acceptance and also the operational aspect of it. And you too have faced challenges, from the students, the lecturers, and to make it a sustainable program. So the most important thing here is to make sure that it's internalized, not something that we just have as head knowledge and does not translate to our work. So let's, now we move on to our next speaker with a very beautiful headgear. She should have told me she was wearing something, I would have brought mine too. Fei Lim, the floor is yours.
Hi guys, Salam Sejahtera. My name is Fei Lim. I'm from the Rojak project. Just a little background, if you need to know, I'm actually a mixed Rojak. I'm a Chinese Siamese Nyonya. I respect both of my heritage. But I'm also adopted by the two tribes right now from Sarawak, the Kelabits and the Ukit Bukit people, dekat Bakun, Sarawak. So, Rojak project has a very unique advantage. Just to share with you, we got an opportunity to travel around Malaysia pre-COVID days. And if you want to know who we are, you can check our website. And you can see that we were the young group that created our Malaysian people, the portraits with Malaysian food. So the whole concept of what we wanted to do was to show how unique, strong we are together. When we created this Malaysian food, it was so interesting because we didn't know anything about our country. We very honest. We don't know anything about about everyone, and because our group is young, we mixed a lot with different people. That's how we got to know about other people's culture. Now, the quest that we went through was, can we create 500 artworks at that time? So sorry, I didn't showcase the artworks here, but what I wanted to show was that, what I wanted to share was that when we traveled, we managed to complete 550 artworks of Malaysian food. And that was only just based on touching ground. Through that journey of going around Malaysia, I went through this understanding that Malaysia actually means all of us together, but the question is actually, who are our Malaysian? Here are the challenges that I want to impart to share with all of you what I experienced as a young Malaysian. Sebagai anak muda lah, okay? We realize actually, we forget that we spend so much time talking about Malaysia, but Malaysia actually means all of us together. Can you go to the next slide? We always spend so much time emphasizing about Malaysia here. So what happens is we left out our brothers and sisters on the other side, but actually on our own Malaysia also, they felt it. Okay, next. The truth is, oh no, sorry, we go back. The truth is, actually as a nation, we don't know anything about each other. If I were to say, people don't even know the difference between Tamil and Malay. How? If I were to say to you, can anyone raise up, since we are going to make it interactive, ada orang tahu siapa orang Kelabit di sini tak? Have anyone has met Kelabit? Can you raise a hand? Look around you. Okay. Has anyone met Dusun Tatana? Actually, you kind of did because the person was just right here. Oh, testing you guys. Now, I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm going to emphasize this. You see, our whole time, for me as a young Malaysian, and I'm sure our parents and our grandparents' time, we were brought up to believe we were always categorized as this journey: Malay, Chinese, Indian, and Dan lain-lain. When I went through the journey of going around Malaysia, my question was, actually, who are these Dan lain-lain? And how many are there? Oh dear. I discovered that actually there were more than 250. I'm including ethnic and sub-ethnic group, and that's not good. You can go to the next slide. I'll give you an example with my evidence of what we have here. So if you talk about Peninsula here, these are your people, our fellow Malaysian brothers and sisters, auntie, uncles, right? We've got the Orang Asli category. Unfortunately, they put the Punjabis also as a done line. Our Eurasian, our Siamese, here we go. Our Chindian is a new category, that's the unique ones. Maybe let's go to the next one. This is your category of Sarawak. So when I was sharing just now, does anyone know anything about the Melanaus, the let's say the Kalabits, the Kayan, the Kenya? These are names that are very weird, we are known to us, unfamiliar. Sebagai anak muda rakyat Malaysia, saya sudah tahu sudah sampai masa untuk kita mengenali rakyat yang berbilang kaum. I'm so real and firm about this. Let's go to the next slide. This is the categories for Sabah, even more. And I love that you're taking photos. Thank you very much for doing that. Don't forget to tag the Rakyat project with a K. These people, recently I had an engagement with the Ministry of Communication, sharing them ideas. Guys, we need to do something about it. And humbly they will say, sorry, pardon my ignorance. How do we know they're Malaysian? So now I have to show evidence, which I did. I said, as simple as it is, how do you know you're Malaysian already if you got your IC, your birth certificate? This is a real conversation we got. But my point of sharing this is what? We don't know each other. We don't know each other. You cannot, and I'll be very, very real about it as a young Malaysian. The fact that I had the opportunity to travel, not only travel, I lived with the people. I lived and stayed with the people. I learned their culture. I learned about their, and I create the art. And so I have great partnerships. I'm very thankful for great partnerships like I have with Rio, Balai Seni Negara, Ministry of Tourism last year supported us to do a very impactful project for the Bukit people, minority groups, 580 of them. And thinking that we as young Malaysians from Selangor don't know anything about them, I found out that actually their own people don't know anything about them. Last year, I also got supported by, Rakyat Project got supported by Yayasan Hazana. And we were doing a group to create these works also for the Chetty people, which people get confused with Chetty and Chettiya, and they're not the same. And so what happened was, I found out even for the Chetty people, that Malaccan people don't even know. Any Orang Malacca over here? Malaccan people, my father's a Malaccan. Any Malaccan people here? Not enough engagement with the Chetty people, is that correct to say? Not many have an opportunity. But I'm also I'm very well aware, not everyone has that opportunity to meet these people. So I'm not going to give you the answers of what we're going to do, because I know the answers. But I can share one thing that I'm working on under Rakyat Project. Actually, we're meeting them one by one, and it's very hard. But do we need the support? The answer is yes. We need partnerships, we need funding, and we have to do what was mentioned. We have to humbly get to know them first. Not think we're very clever and go to their place and tell them what to do is correct. What they say is correct. Why they accept Rakyat Project in different parts of Malaysia? Because they knew we were young and willing to learn. That is the secret I can share with you guys. Let's go for it. Oh, just so you know, actually we experiment. So one thing about Rakyat Project, I just want to share with you guys. We also experiment a lot of different things. And actually one of our experimentees is here from Project 57. What we did during the pandemic, it was a horrible experience that everyone had to go through. But I wanted to push what we were doing when we traveled around Malaysia, because we filmed. We were doing a lot of documentary, we did a lot of documentation. So the good problem that Rakyat Project has is we have a lot of content. Because of a lot of content that we have, when we collaborated with international filmmakers like, I give you an example, Drew Binsky, just to share a little bit about Malaysia, in 1 week we hit 7 million views. What I'm trying to say is actually Malaysia is so unique. We don't recognize actually how strong we are. And now Rojak Project is on that journey, on a path to go forward to meet these people. We need to know what is what. Nobody knows what is what. I'll tell you what we did lah. This is something I can share what we did with the young people. In Taylor's University, so we have one partnership with Taylor's University where the young people are engaged with us. What we did was, we created a structure of questions that they needed to meet people they have never met before, cultures they have never met before, and they have to learn how to interview. They have to, they have to transcribe and they have to write an article. And some of them had to learn how to do video editing. Syed Saddiq was one of the examples of the topic we went for, Rojak marriage. So these young kids, and when I mean young kids, they are lawyers. Their backgrounds were in different backgrounds, but they're young and willing, scared. But when we created a structure for them to learn, you gotta go, the job right now, because you want your point system, right, is that you need to go and learn about someone else's culture. I will give them to you. We are all doing it online. And I saw the faces of the young people transform, similarly as how I felt when I went through it. And you see they are going through a transformation to see that, wow, we don't know anything about our country. But now they're brave enough to slowly meet and mingle. So I think I'm going to leave it here. Saddiq, you want to share something else, man?
Okay.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you, Faye. So I'll just continue from, okay. So I think I have a bit of an advantage, I feel, given to me or blessed to me because of what Faye brought up earlier. And that's that I do have a mixed marriage situation, which is my wife is half Indian, half Chinese. And I fall under the category of being Malay because of my name and my religion that I was born into. But there's also some technicalities there. If you look further deeper, people will call me Hadrami. And you go back into the whole thing, then I have a lot of Arab connections. So that bit of me has given me the opportunity to understand better my wife's family from both sides, from her Indian side, which is actually Malayali, and her mother's side, which is Chinese. So we celebrate everything. Okay, maybe not Deepavali, unfortunately, but we celebrate everything. So from reunion dinners, and you realize and you see the similarities in a lot of what we do, even during Hari Raya. Many of you, I don't know, some of you may know, many of you may not, that one of the important nights of Hari Raya is Malam Raya. Just like reunion dinner being the night before the celebration, the reunion dinner is the most important thing. But Malam Raya is so special for us. That's when we balik kampung, that's when we start the cooking, that's when you start the interacting. Everybody sleeps late, everybody wakes up with swollen eyes, because you've just been up all night but having a wonderful time. So having that insight and coming from a mixed marriage has really, I think, blessed me, and especially my children. And I come to a very important point. Sometimes when we talk about unity, especially in Malaysia, right, it's wonderful to be obsessed talking about unity when we know that there are fundamental issues or there are issues about it, that we have to constantly talk about it, because you realize that it's a work in progress. There's no finish line. There is no such thing as, okay, we're done, so relax now. Everything's going to be wonderful from now on. I'll tell you a funny story that someone told me after the 2018 elections. So in case some of you don't know, the organization that I set up with my partners is called Project 57. We're a unity project, and we do a lot of projects with universities and schools, youths throughout the country to promote and actually talk about issues surrounding unity. So this person actually, after the 2018 election, said, hey, you can close Project 57. We already have a unity government. So we don't need we don't need projects like Project 57 anymore. And I was like, actually I was really shocked that someone can actually say that, thinking that a ship will be able to take care of itself. And I think this is something that is very important, that we always need to be guided. And the reason we need that is because we can easily go off course. Slight wind change, the pilot changes, things like this, and you don't actually realize. And then it comes back to that question of where we are right now with all these issues surrounding unity. Why are we here? Or why are we even, why do we have forums like these? This is not the first forum that I've actually attended or taken part in. Why are there so many forums that we talk about unity? Why do we talk about perpaduan? Because it's so important, okay? It actually has to be even more out there. And the issue of why we are here, there's two things. That this is just my own opinion. I hope that maybe this will upset some people and you will come and ask me questions. One is upbringing, and the other one is education. And these are the biggest, the most fundamental things. Now, you expect your kids or the next future generation to actually behave, treat others in a certain way, then they have to be exposed. There is this very famous word in Malay, this phrase in Malay that we say, which is so important, and I hope you guys will remember it. Tak kenal maka tak cinta. And this is exactly what Faye was talking about just now. When you don't know, how can you love? When you don't understand, how can you appreciate? And when you are not exposed, how can you accept? This is something that is so important. It's so simple. You tak kenal, maka you tak cinta. Why would you care about your neighbor if you don't know who they are? You don't know that they have 3 kids that are perhaps on the spectrum, perhaps unwell. You don't know, so you don't care. So the whole point is to be able to be cognizant and understand that, hey, these are real fundamental issues, that we actually have to know each other. That's the most important thing in Malaysia. Then when you talk about, so that's, upbringing at home, how you actually treat kids. And I think this is something that's very important. Parents play the most important role. And then once you go to school, the school plays the ultimate role. How you actually do things. And I have to say that during my time in education, we kind of got both. We got both, that we were very mixed and very, united and always together, because I came from schools that, when there was a gang fight, Chinese, Indian, and Malay are all together. It's wonderful, which is strange, but that was the best thing. Kalau football match, bergaduh and all of that, everyone is together. But the whole point is that the education part is a very important thing. We as teachers, we as educators must make sure that the students actually understand that this is the molding. I sometimes wish that all of us didn't grow up. We should just stay as children, because as children, we have eyes that just look at things in a way that we just love each other, instead of trying to, thank you, yes, to be prejudiced, to be, to decide whether I like that person because of, I don't like that person because of how he looks, or the color of his skin, or the way that he actually speaks. So just to share with you now, I'm trying to compact everything, okay? Those are my points of view, but just to share with you a program that we actually ran with another university. So we ran this program for 10 weeks with 250 students, and it was a project which, it was a community module. Now this community module, they could have done something very straightforward. They could have gone to an old folks home, they could have gone to an orphanage, paint it, and then write a report and be done with it. But the dean of that university that time really had vision. So what she did was, she allowed the students to run Project 57 as their charity, as their, as their program for 10 weeks. So they had targets. They had to do a business plan, they had to do a business pitch, they had sales targets, because that's how we sustain the business. And then they had to do videos, and they had to do a sharing session. Now, when we first started, all the students, and I'm going to be honest with you, because we had a Facebook chat so that they can all talk to us and ask us questions. And all we heard was grumbling. They were really upset. They said, wow, this one trying to sell T-shirts and clothes for a social enterprise. This is a scam. We just kept quiet. So we carried on with the program. But as the weeks progressed and the things that they had to do with regards to unity, with regards to interaction and all of that, we saw how the students became more engaged. And I remember when I did my first presentation to tell them that this is going to be your project, not a single person asked me a question. I'm not kidding. The only person that decided to take pity on me and ask me a question was the MC. Nobody asked me a question. But at the end of the 10-week program, when all the students did their work, did the submission, did their videos, and we watched them all, we gave prizes to some of them for all the hard work that they did. 250 students. Not a single one could keep quiet after that. It was because in some way or the other, they understood the importance of the project. It wasn't about sales. It was about working together. It was about being able to understand one another. It was being able to cooperate with each other and find ways to have solutions with regards to the issues surrounding unity. Now, in this university, there were quite a number of international students. And I loved what they said. You know, for us, we didn't know whether this program is going to work or not. And what they said was, we wish we have programs like this in our universities or in schools back in our country. You know, so we were very encouraged, and we still do quite a bit of work with other education institutions. It's just that after the pandemic, we also shifted our focus to also do work with Orang Asli preschoolers. So we've just built a school in Gua Musang. We've created it to become modular so that we could replicate it. And we are now in the process of building school number 2. So if you have any questions later, you can ask me, but those are just sharing my points of view. Thank you.
Thank you. Wasn't that wonderful? Rojak Project Meeting Project 57, yeah? And this is 2 wonderful ways of how we can actually look at Malaysia itself. Like what Faye was sharing earlier, we, all of us together, make Malaysia. And we forget to look at our neighbors sometimes. We just go back from work into the house, and that's all we know. We have a neighbor, but who that person is, details of the family, it just is not interesting enough to us. So as been pointed out, tak kenal, maka tak cinta. So if you love someone, you'll find out more about that person. It's like a relationship in a marriage. You find out more about your partner because you love that person. So if we love the Malaysian that lives next door to us, then we need to get to know more about that person. And also, Said pointed out that upbringing and education plays a very important role in the unity agenda. And upbringing at home, how much of are we teaching our children to be accepting of one another? Are we actually inculcating prejudices into the lifestyle of our children? The education that we give them at home is what they carry to school, and they will then therefore poison even the children in school if they are taught wrongly. And education is an important agenda here. I must say that I'm a bit disappointed that the Ministry of Education is not here, because they should be taking a serious role in the unity agenda. So I hope, Tan Sri Michael, that you would pass on this message that, involvement of the ministry should be there in an issue like this. So for our final panelist, we have Professor Kenneth Kwa to present his take on Harmoni-Mesra.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth. After hearing the presentation from Datuk VC and also Fei Lim's and Shadin's, especially Fei Lim, inspired me with our country have more than 250 ethnic groups and races. For me, this is something also changed my mindset also today. I left Malaysia for 11 years and living in China. I live in Beijing. When I live in Beijing, I spend some of the time living in Mongolia, Korea, yeah, try to explore my life journey to understand about educations. When I returned 7 years ago, I started my company, Phoenix Asia Academy. So just now, Harmoni-Mesra, we're talking about being a global citizen, cross cultures. So when I look into this, and you have another one which is infra-cultures and also intercultures. Yes, I also fulfill that. So when I come back, when I back 8 years ago or 7 years ago to Penang to start my company, I also facing one challenges, which is how to unite our Malaysians staff that I hired. First thing, when I hired Chinese, Penang being a one-party majority ruling states, so majority of the races is Chinese. Myself, if you look at my beards, am I Chinese? I'm actually mixed as well. So often I introduce to my friend, oh, I'm latte, which is I'm mixed Chindians. My mom is Chindian. Yeah, continue my mom's roots, they have mixed with Malay, Indians, continue by Sarawak Dayang. So if in our family, we have a farm, we take semua. Cina, Melayu, India, line. But this is kind of family that I grew up. A Muhibah. We have been Muhibah before I left Malaysia. So the personality, the cultures, my family has shared to me that when I travel to China, when China people ask me, are you Chinese? I say, yes. Said, so what is Malaysia? Most of the Malaysians, when I back to Penang, I come back to this topic first. I ask a lot of young people or my staff, do you know what is Malaysia? What do you mean by Malaya? So when Francis Light came to Penang, so have you heard about Langkah Suka? Have you heard about Meho Mahawangsa? None of them can answer me. Even though I try to ask, okay, try to tell me which are the states that you have. We have Sultan and kings. Then none of them can answer. So some things I asked myself, I left Penang 17 years. Of course, part of the time I live in KL. So when I hire all these people, so I need to unite them, not just one particular race. Chinese, then I must have Malay. So my staff proportions is 50% Malay and 50% Chinese, of course, almost balanced plus line, which is the Indians that we got as well. We do a lot of this unity event. So Merdeka Day, we do all sorts of events. We sing Negara together. Yeah, maybe next round we will do Rukun Negara together. Yeah, then we let the Chinese try to speak more Malay. We let the Malay to learn Mandarin. This is what I want. Because I keep on telling them, we have to work as a team. So even though the markets that I work mostly are from China, I allow the Malay to go to China to learn about the culture there. Because being a Malaysian, when China asks me, what is Malaysia? You come to Malaysia, you try our food, this is Malaysia. We have the best food. Why we call as food paradise? Yeah, you can think China may be food paradise. But we come to Malaysia, the cross cultures or the intercultures of we have presented in the food. You can eat food all over the world. You can eat the best durian. You can eat Chinese food, Malay food, Nyonya food as well. So this is Malaysia. And the Malaysian society that I introduced to you, what is Malaya from? So when I tell them, the words Malaya came from Himalaya. Because this is a land with Banjaran. So this is why Malaya came from. Yeah. So when you try to explain to people around the world, if you as a Malaysian, you don't even know how to explain your country. You don't even want to recognize your country, yourself as a Malaysian, although we have to recognize ourselves what race we are, but the identity of our country. So this is what I have to overcome this. So we organize this event. Let cross-culture, including when I take over a new takeover of college. When I take over that college, I left with few students only. So I apply the same approach to them. So I tell my students, let's change your mind. You have to be a mindset of Malaysians, a mindset of the best of the Chinese, the best of the Malay, the best of other races, and the global mindset together. Even though you are a diploma program, you graduated from a diploma course, let's overcome this. You have your skill, your personalities. So after we give them all sorts of programs, we go for a study tour, we let them participate with all the events that we organize in our Unity program. For me, it's an experiment. Yes, when they are graduated, they got jobs. Even though a diploma holder, the highest pay is 7,500 as a diploma holder. The lowest pay, by average, is 3,500. It's above diploma holders or above degree average holders. So what is this society needs? We need the personalities, or we need Malaysians workers or Malaysian future young people with Malaysian personality. The personality is not just Malaysia himself, it has to be global. But before we go global, you have to go through this process. That's why the Mesra Harmony, this project is good to implement in every colleges. Same goes to my late Tan Sri Lim Kok Wing. He also promotes about training a global graduates. The process of this is also the same. Yeah. So myself is one of the global citizens or global people that have been trained by him, having gone through this. So for young people, one of the challenges that when young people to accept interculture that I find out is the phobia. We ask them to respect the culture. As today, most of the presentation we talk about respect. But the respect is not about to give. The respect is to gain. How much do we understand other cultures? It's the same as how much we want to show ourselves that we really truly respect, or not just because of you deserve, you want me to give you the respect, I give you the respect. It's not from their hearts. So the intercultures that I often see, you must understand. So for examples that I share to a lot of business entrepreneurs, especially in Penang, I say, if you want to understand how to do business in the Malaysian society, including Malay, how much do you understand about Malay? Yeah, it's not because of you understand the Malay because of this, but you don't understand Islam as its most. Have you ever studied Quran? Have you tried to understand what is Islam about? Second bell. But anyway, what I want to say is the understanding of other cultures is very important. A lot of youngsters don't want to learn histories. They don't want to understand, take further step to understand the meaning of other cultures. So, for my perspective is, we have to implement some programs for the youngsters, for them to do more research and also experience more about other cultures, not just understand from the surface. You must understand deeply. Of course, same as the politics, atmosphere have actually created a lot of tensions. So this is one of the very sensitive issues, and what is sensitive situations that, serious situations that we are facing now. No matter how hard we try to promote, we have this kind of political atmosphere trying to influence, because myself, we have families who are Malay as well. Now, myself, I can share to you, I converted to Islam 2 years ago. What challenge I have? I have a lot of challenges. Yeah. I have challenges to share to my friend, but I overcome it because why? I have to show myself a good example. So I share to a lot of my friends that I changed the religions, I changed my faith, but I didn't change my race. I'm still Chinese. So this is not the way that how you understand about Islam. It's not the way that how the politician atmosphere or the message that they try to carry for you. No, Islam is a different thing. Have you tried puasa? I tried, this is the second time. Full puasa that I've tried, 30 days. Second time, first time, yes, was very suffer. But this is some things that I wanted to share to a lot of my Chinese friends. Now, if you really want to understand about Malay, it's not about giving them bicycle, giving them beras, especially the politician that I share to them. No, you must understand, okay, going to stop soon. So, it's about you really embrace the cultures of others. You understand deeply. See things from the positive side. Yeah, that's what I want to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Kenneth, for your sharing on needing a Malaysian personality and also the understanding of other cultures and other races in this country, and also knowing our history and the need to implement programs that will allow our generation, the younger generation, to appreciate the Malaysian culture, the Malaysian history, and to know more about the races. Okay, I'm going to open the time now to the floor for you all to ask questions to our panel members. When you ask a question, you can either direct it directly to either one of the panel members, or you can just make it an open question. Introduce yourself and your affiliation when you get up to ask a questions, please. Anyone? Anyone here has a question for the panel? Yes.
Terima kasih pengurusi. Nama saya Jayum, saya orang lain-lain yang tak penting gitu. I have a number of observations. Number one, since this morning there's so many suggestions on how to make better unity, integration, and how to unite the Malaysian people. But all the arguments seems to be going in a circle, berputar belit. Dan idea tidak jauh berbeza daripada seorang speaker kepada speaker yang lain. Cuma soalan saya ialah, apa sebenarnya masalah yang mahu ditangani oleh cadangan-cadangan pembentang yang sudah bercakap tadi? Itu yang pertama. Kemudian kedua, perhatian saya agak terkejut juga bila saya baca flyer forum ini yang menyatakan bahawa keadaan hubungan etnik sudah bertambah teruk, regressing daripada civilised kepada primal instinct. Jadi itu suatu pandangan yang agak appealing to me. Mengutuk negara sendiri begitu kuat. Apakah kita betul dalam keadaan yang cemas? Saya rasa tidak. Kita ada isu, kita ada masalah yang perlu ditangani. Tapi tidaklah negara kita berada dalam satu aras yang teruk sehingga esok lusa akan ada perang saudara. Saya rasa saya itu datang daripada penaja UCSI dan dua rakan dia yang disebut dalam flyer dan juga disebut oleh MC apabila memulakan forum tadi. Persoalan saya, institusi gergasi seperti UCSI, jadi apa peranan dalam memupuk perpaduan. Tadi kita dengar 50% daripada pelajar lokal, selebihnya luar negara. So jadi yang 50% itu tadi, adakah dia mencerminkan etnik-etnik yang disenaraikan oleh salah seorang speaker tadi? Ada tak orang Kelabit, orang Kadasan Dusun, orang Sungai yang sudah dibawa ke dalam satu ruang sini supaya mereka boleh mengenali di antara satu sama lain sebagai syarat, disebutkan oleh speaker juga, sebagai syarat untuk kenal mengenal. Bila kenal mengenal baru boleh berkawan. Jadi sistem kita tidak menggalakkan itu. Kalau UCSI kebanyakan saya rasa mungkin 50% daripada pelajar dari pelajar Cina. Kalau di IPTA pelajar Melayu. Jadi di mana orang asal, orang Sabah, orang Sarawak tidak dibawa ke dalam satu ruang fizikal untuk mereka bergaul tadi. Saya maklum inclusivity bukan satu sifat kebanyakan IPTA, IPTS, termasuk UCSI. Kan? Kalau dari segi misalnya top management dominated oleh orang Cina kerana ini private. Kalau IPTA 90% dominated oleh orang Melayu. So jadi orang lain itu tidak ada ruang mahu bersatu untuk membina Malaysia yang berbilang etnik, berbilang bangsa, berbilang agama, berbilang budaya tadi. Sekian, terima kasih.
I think he's made a statement on the brochure saying that, talking about the unity of the country suffering regression, which is in the write-up. So the question probably is actually one of it directed to UCSI as to how you see this actually happening in the university itself.
Thank you, Prof. Jayo. Prof, untuk makluman, UCSI mempunyai satu kampus di Sarawak dan semua top management adalah orang dari Sarawak. Dan pelajar-pelajar dari situ kebanyakan adalah pelajar Sarawak. Tetapi kalau di kampus ini memang terdiri dari pelbagai kaum, bukan saja dari bangsa Cina, tetapi bangsa Melayu juga. Di top management UCSI ada seorang profesor Chinese, dua orang lagi Malay dan seorang lagi director untuk pelajar student affairs adalah berbangsa India. Saya rasa mungkin tanggapan kebanyakan adalah semua universiti swasta di administration dia adalah terdiri daripada satu bangsa saja. Tapi tidak, sebab masyarakat di Malaysia dalam 60% adalah bangsa Melayu dan 25 bangsa Cina dan selebihnya yang disebutkan oleh Faith tadi pelbagai kaum. Bagi kampus kami di Kuching, di situlah banyak program-program yang kita laksanakan bagi pelajar-pelajar tempatan. Begitu juga kampus yang di Bangladesh, kebanyakan pelajar adalah pelajar Bangladesh. Jadi dari segi itu kami melihat kepada siapa yang layak dan ada juga elemen yang membantu mereka yang mungkin katalah untuk program IT. Untuk melayakkan seseorang pelajar itu mesti ada satu mata pelajaran matematik. Tetapi jika pelajar tidak memenuhi, kita akan melaksanakan enhancement or bridging program. Yang itu untuk menangani. Dari segi pelaksanaan, kami ada dinyatakan sebagai Harmoni-Mesra moments. Harmoni-Mesra moments itu adalah to capture those moments yang we should be having it lasting, yang mana kami ada disebutkan tadi, misalnya perayaan Hari Raya, Chinese New Year dan juga Deepavali. In fact, ada masa bulan puasa pun kita laksanakan majlis berbuka puasa bersama dengan pelbagai kaum. Dan pada tahun ini, since Datuk Rohana adalah divisi untuk hal ehwal pelajar, beliau dulu dari UM, tahun ini kami akan melaksanakan Harmoni-Mesra semasa Minggu Hari Malaysia. This is our plan untuk tahun ini. We are becoming, is a journey seperti yang disebutkan oleh Tuan Syed Saddiq tadi. We won't arrive to just destination tetapi continuously. Saya melihat mereka di kalangan younger generation, they look at this differently. Saya melihat pelajar-pelajar kalau di IPTA itu mungkin betul Prof. Jayum bahawa kebanyakan Melayu dan mereka melihat perkara itu mengikut masing-masing punya pendidikan. They grow up in different culture. Tetapi di KL pula saya nampak some of the affluent one, Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, they are all together. Cuma saya tertanya-tanya sama ada data bahawa perkara ini yang tentang Harmoni-Mesra ni adakah lebih kepada those affluent one ataupun depending di Kelantan pun, even though they are not affluent pun, dia boleh berbahasa Melayu dengan fasih. Jadi mungkin secara umumnya kajian yang ada, landscape yang kita ada ni belum mencukupi lagi. Saya rasa begitulah Prof. Jayum, pandangan saya.
Any other questions from the floor? Anyone else?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Maidani. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Azlin and my friends there, Encik Adi. We are both actually from Ministry of Education, Kementerian Pendidikan. Okay, we are among the team for, we call it kenegaraan lah. So we are here and we have listened to all the discussion from morning. And nampaknya saya sangat berminat dengan the idea yang Cik Faye bentangkan sebentar tadi, dan lain-lain. And it really opened up my mind in term of, kita ramai lagi sahabat-sahabat kumpulan etnik Sabah dan Sarawak yang kita mungkin tak kenali. So di Kementerian Pendidikan kami antara tim yang akan membina modul untuk kenegaraan. So saya melihat ini satu peluang untuk membuka minda dan mencari idea bagaimana nak mengisi semangat kenegaraan di dalam seluruh sistem pendidikan. Dan saya melihat sebenarnya telah banyak dilakukan oleh Kementerian Pendidikan sebenarnya untuk mengintegrasikan rukun negara dalam banyak aktiviti, subjek dan sebagainya. Cuma mungkin ada kelompongan di sana sini yang boleh kami bincangkan di masa akan datang dan tambah baik insya-Allah.
Not everyone has the opportunity to travel around and to meet. So nampaknya tak kenal and therefore tak cinta. It's not as bad as that. You don't have to actually, or rather, you can be guided by a set of values that will prevent you from being a nasty person. And this is budi bahasa, budi bicara, and budi pekerti. If you practice that, then even if you tak kenal pun, it doesn't mean that you have to behave nastily. And the other set of values that will guide you to prevent any untoward reaction is the smart partnership principle. Respect, trust, transparency, tolerance, and accommodation. But we forgot about that. Among the Malays, many have forgotten about budi bahasa, budi bicara, budi pekerti. We just say without thinking how people will react to what we say. So we need to keep back to that. And the other thing is about if we cannot actually be exposed to the real experience in the field, we can still learn it best, of course, in school. But if you cannot do that, you can do in the university. And this is what the Harmoni-Mesra campus program that we started here at UCSI is trying to do. And that can be taken up by other organizations, not just schools, but corporations, civil society organizations, schools. They can pick it up and try to translate the principle of Harmoni-Mesra into actionable practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri. First of all, I would like to thank the fact that one was revealed, the Ministry of Education is here, and what Tan Sri has just shared. I would like to add something here. I only need, for Rojak project, because we value our time, because like what Tan Sri you said, not everyone has the opportunity, and this is something I want to emphasize. For me as a young Malaysian, I don't take this privilege with no, how to say, I make use of it. I don't take it lightly. Because as I travel, you know, I have to be very careful wherever I go to make sure, because you're going deeper in the jungle, depending on rural areas and whatnot. There is a way, actually, for us, and it's called with technology. So that's why I fully want to emphasize about this part, that not every Malaysian, not even young Malaysian, has the opportunity to go around Malaysia. Therefore, for me, as under Rojak project, I definitely need to work out things with Ministry of Communication. I have emphasized with their team that if we can, number one, share what is what. Give people the opportunity to write in education. I think it can be implemented in schools. Give people a chance. Give an example. Can we say Chinese, let's say Hainanese and Hokkien, are they the same? Can everyone answer me? Are they the same? No, right? Can you say the Malays who are from Terengganu sama dengan orang Melaka ke? Tak kan? Jadi, having an opportunity to break down. There's different levels. If we talk about national level, I would like to emphasize on education, even on media. Media is playing a part. Not just on TV, because young people, unfortunately, we don't watch TV, but the breakdown on content creation to get to know people better. That is going to make I really believe it, the magnitude of breakthrough will happen. Give people the opportunity and chance to know each other better. That's one. Now on education, where was the team from education team? Where was it? Can you raise your hands? Where was it? Where? Education team. Okay, I'm very serious about it because a few years ago, pre-pandemic days, Padu came out. Okay, and I didn't see it implemented, certain things. But there is a structure and a way we can do it for the young people. And I would like to link with you all, if there's a chance. Okay, there is a way, because we experimented, Rojak Project as young group, with the help of other people also, cannot just claim for your own, we had different people come up with a structure on how do we communicate with each other. I can share this with you. A lot of people, the young people are scared, but let me emphasize with what I shared with the young people, and similarly here, you don't lose learning new things. You really don't lose learning new things. The young people, when they are forced to come up with a structure, which we did with Sadiq, where we had to ask them questions. Can you tell us what's your ethnic background? What was the certain questions we asked? And all of them are timid and scared and shy, but because they had to do it as part of their program, you see them expanding. Their mind it's breaking barriers. So he was one of them. We managed to do interviews with people from different parts of Malaysia, and these young people who are, in a sense, you call them privileged, but they had an opportunity to do something about it. And the young people that was engaged with us are people who got a privilege to go overseas, and then they share with me that they feel very malu. Malu because why? When we talk about Malaysia, they don't even know what to say. So there is a way, and I hope that there is going to be a great collaboration to see a breakthrough, only if you're sincere. I only want to link with people who are sincere because we got no time. We are using every of our time to experiment. I can share one thing that we did last year on the art scale. So I'm very thankful that we are also connected with Ministry of Tourism. Okay. Last year, we did a camp, a heritage and cultural art camp. And what we did was we got all the artists, the young artists, to come with us to engage with this community called the Ukit Bukit people. What happened was we did things that is based on cultural events, but whatever we did, we basically decided we had to bring it back to Kuala Lumpur, and we did a whole function just to exhibit about these people. Now, obviously, in KL, it was not the biggest that I wished for, but we knocked down the walls, we brought down things that we've never seen before. You know, their entire kampong was built with rattan. I've been around Malaysia, but I've never seen people done this. So I had to emphasize to the cultural people and say, we need to do this. We need people to know that these people exist. When we did that, they have never traveled out of their kampong in their whole life. They said, oh, we're going to night balloon. That level, night balloon. And it became a historical event for them, for us to bring them here. Do you know what was the conversation that they were so grateful for us to do this? Which was not easy. They said, terima kasih, Faye, because if we never do this, sampai mati pun we will never be here. Because of what we did, which was to emphasize not just a general idea of, you know, like how people always generalize Indian culture, like what? We need to actually break it down. What is what? So this group is called the Ukit people, and they were the first to be done in Kuala Lumpur. Now the other groups, it penetrated apparently to the Sungai Asap group, that they found out that, wow, this minority group, 580 population only, was finally recognized at least. Even through my final report given back to Ministry of Tourism, no excuse, it's already all reported. Media also came out already. So these are just the few things that Rojak Project has done that actually everyone else can play a part. But we need the support lah.
Okay, thank you, Faye. Any more questions or comments from the floor? None? I want to thank all our panelists.
I just got one more. It's not a comment, but I just want to say heartfelt thanks to UCSI for bringing panel of speakers over here. It's represented so many diversified agencies, institutions from all walks of life, and reaching so many groups of people that, like today what Faye Lim have talked about, that I wouldn't have understand it until now. So I'm coming here representing, afterwards of course by Mr. Asohan under Pupo, he will share a bit more. But right now I want to share with you a collaboration from this panel and also other panels representing for the fashion shows and also the pageant under Miss Malaysia Kebaya, Miss Chipao, and Miss Sari. We have been doing this for 10 over years, reaching out to all ethnicity, cultural through what we call that fashion shows. So we have all kinds of diversities in terms of cultural clothing. We did that nationwide for states, for Malaysian, and of course this year we're going to do it for worldwide under the Miss Malaysia Kebaya for world. So maybe in the future, if our path cross, we can look into collaboration,
Yes.
In whatever way to promote unity and harmony in Malaysia. So anyway, my name is Albert Chong. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you to our panel members. And bottom line is, we all have a role to play in the unity agenda of Malaysia. Okay, thank you, and over to the MC.